The economy has been slowed in part because there has been a war on success and constant threatening and demonization of business. And a lot of businesses have been afraid and intimidated by this. Listen, you're still in business to make money, but you still put a lot of money in the bank. There's $1.5 trillion outside of this country. Companies are doing what they can to get by, but they're not taking the risk to do better.
They're hunkering down.
I have a slightly different view.
Yeah.
I think both sides deserve the blame. I think this is a sign of what politics can do to slow economic activity, to keep companies from spending. We haven't done full-scale tax reform, entitlement reform, spending cuts. We haven't looked intelligently at defense. We haven't dealt with the issues of the debt and the deficit in any serious and sustained way. And, you know, there's enough blame to go around. I wish both sides would just cut it out, Martha.
It feels like the American people, the only thing they're truly confident about is that nothing's going to get done. So they're trying to figure out alternate ways to survive and to function in their businesses and in their lives.
And how to negotiate this new normal, which I don't think the American people should be putting up with. You know, listening to Carney's comments, Martha, let's get this straight. So the Democrats took control of the Congress in January 2007, and they held it until January of 2011. Democratic president has been in office for the last 4 years. The Republicans control 1/2 of 1/3 of the government, and somehow they're to blame for this poor economy. We've had 4 years now of higher taxes, class warfare, radical wealth redistribution, socialized medicine now starting to kick in, unprecedented spending, record-breaking deficits and debt, and somehow it's the Republicans' fault that we now have an economy that's
$4 trillion trying to juice this economy.
Right.
And you have to ask the question whether or not, you know, the system is working right now. But 60% approval rating for the president. So, you know, the president is not being blamed by the American people on this, Charles.
You know, listen, the president's done an extraordinary sales job. There's no doubt about it. You know, the finger-pointing thing has absolutely worked. But ultimately, you know, when history judges this, they're going to say what did occur. And it's been 4 years. There'll be another 4 years. But I can tell you that today we had numbers out from last month on income and spending. Income exploded. I mean, it was the best income number since May of 2008. Why? Well, those remember those big dividend payouts before the tax hike? And a lot of people took gigantic bonuses before the big tax hike. What scared me about the report, though, was spending was really below estimates. Again, it feels like maybe the American people are beginning to hunker down, and that's been a major problem. So even though people give the president, you know, props, if you will, in their own lives, they're really not acting out on it.
Well, one of the things when you talk about consumer spending, I mean, we've just started to absorb the fact that everyone is paying higher taxes across the board. If you make $50,000 it's going up by $1,000 for most people across the board. So, you know, I'm concerned about the next quarter. I mean, one quarter can be an anomaly, but if you've got two like that back to back, you've got a recession.
Martha, I think we have to be real and candid and face the fact that the deal on the fiscal cliff, the 3-month extension on the debt ceiling have done absolutely nothing to resolve our long-term fiscal challenges. And given the fact that we have no long-term agreement, consumers are doing exactly what you're saying. They're hunkering down because they're scared.
I think you got to accept that across the board. Both parties do, in terms of really nothing being accomplished.
Well, that's a lack of leadership in D.C., and everybody agrees on that.
On all sides.
On all sides. There's no doubt about that.